This is big breaking emergency news. We are now seeing major drills being run right now by the National Guard, and they are getting prepared for something big to happen potentially inside the United States. All right, they are running drills for a hypothetical situation, for a potential radiological, chemical, biological event. All right, that's what's happening right now with our military and our National Guard. They are training domestically, and they are getting ready in case something big happens here. All right, so you can see here, this was just posted by the National Guard April 5th, and they are wearing this full body equipment to be prepared for these events, and they are running massive drills in multiple different states right now, like New Jersey. All right, they're running big drills there and getting ready. So you need to get ready too. And this is a hypothetical situation they are doing here. All right, there's no current emergency, but they are preparing for something big. So you should be prepared too. You should have your preps ready, your stockpiles ready, and be on high alert. All right, so let's dive into this news here. Hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on this big, urgent news. All right, so this was just posted today by the National Guard. All right, you can see here it says New Jersey, Delaware, and Idaho Guard conduct interagency training. All right, and look at this. They're wearing the full body gear, and they're preparing, and you can see here a National Guard troop in a stadium. All right, so this is hypothetical. There's nothing happening right now, but they're doing these major drills for a potential big event at one of these locations. All right, and we just got a warning yesterday from the FBI of a potential attack inside the US. All right, they're saying we could have a similar event like what happened in Russia inside the US. All right, I made a whole video on that yesterday, showing it on live news. And now the National Guard is preparing for something very similar. All right, so you can see here it says the New Jersey, Delaware, and National Guard and Idaho National Guard participated in interagency chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and high-yield explosives training with the FBI and state and local law enforcement from March 25th to March 28th. All right, so this is what they're preparing for. It says in the training scenario, the FBI has received intelligence about a domestic group that has planted explosives. All right, and they're saying one could potentially have cesium-137, a radioactive isotope. All right, so this is a massive drill that they are running right now. It says, as more than 10,000 people are about to converge on the Cure Insurance Arena in Trenton to listen to the vice president. All right, so they're saying that there's 10,000 people here. This is all hypothetical. All right, but this is what they're doing training simulations for. And this is serious. This is very big while they're listening to the vice president. So this is a major warning sign, major red alert. They're talking about radioactive isotopes, cesium. This is very, very serious, and you need to take this warning very serious as well. And this is the equipment they would be wearing if something like this ever happened. Right? So this is big, and this could potentially cause major chain reactions if anything like this ever happened. All right, we could see major lockdowns. We could see lockdowns for months, maybe years, maybe mass evacuations of certain regions and areas. All right, and we could see these areas shut down. Nobody's allowed to go there. Everyone has to leave their home within a whatever mile radius. Okay, And just a few months ago as well, I just remember this, or this was just a few weeks ago actually, in New Jersey and near Maryland. It was actually Maryland, sorry. But right there near New Jersey. And they were actually handing out iodine tablets to the citizens and warning them to be on high alert for a nuclear reactor failure in this region. Right? So we're getting a lot of warnings. We just had an earthquake there. All right, if a earthquake hits a nuclear reactor inside the United States, we could have a similar Fukushima event where we are dealing with this for years, maybe decades. Entire regions would be isolated and shut down. All right, and some of these reactors are right there in the middle of the city, and that's why they were handing out these tablets to people. The government was right there. I made a whole video on it just a couple weeks ago. All right, so this is big. This is a major warning. You need to be prepared for this. All right, it says the entire structure has to be searched from the catwalks crisscrossing above the floor to the rooms and suites and the concession stands and the service areas. It says the Joint Chemical, Biological, Radiological, Nuclear, and High-Yield Characterization, Exploitation, and Migration course brought together soldiers and airmen from the New Jersey National Guard's 21st Weapons of Mass Destruction Civil Support Team and the 31st WMD Civil Support Team Delaware National Guard. Right? And it says the 101st WMD Idaho National Guard. And they also had FBI special agents and technicians and WMD coordinators that were on the ground, a part of this drill as well. So let's pray that this never happens in the United States, but this is a big drill, right? Let's hope this never happens, but you should be prepared in case anything ever did happen, right? You can see here it says the whole intent of the course is interoperability at the operations level, said Carrie Heiser Sylvie, president of InWeTalk Group. All right, it says the contractor running the course. It says we're talking about folks that are on the ground that are actually doing out the work and that do the sweeps and that do the responses. All right, it says that means when WMD units do their sweeps and encounter certain hazards, they know who to contact to remedy them so they can continue their sweeps. All right, so this is very big, very serious, and it says they did this just 10 days ago. This massive drill took place at the Cure Insurance Arena in Trenton. It was hypothetical, all right? It was a drill, but be on red alert, especially with this warning that we got yesterday from the FBI. All right, we also have the border is wide open. There could be potential threats that have just entered the country undetected, and there have been dozens of people on these watch lists that they've caught already. That's just people that they've caught. All right, there's potentially been dozens, hundreds more, who knows how many more potentially. Who knows? Because nobody actually knows the number. This is the problem, because things are wide open. There's thousands and thousands of, quote, gotaways every single day of people that they see on cameras and surveillance that pass through, and we have no idea who they are. And then there's even more people that don't even get caught on surveillance or anything. And just today as well, we had another major problem with container ships, which are a giant weapon. They could wipe out critical infrastructure, and they can be targeted to have their power systems potentially turned off remotely. This technology has existed for at least years, at least a decade. There's been people warning that other countries have remote control technology where they can take over ships and cut off the power. All right, but you can see here, this is coming out the New York Post. Not saying that this is what this was, but the technology exists. It says massive container ship loses power near NYC's Verrazano Bridge days after Baltimore Key Bridge disaster. It says a massive container ship lost power in the waters around New York City and was brought to a rest near the Verrazano Narrows Bridge Friday night, less than 2 weeks after failure on another massive cargo vessel caused it to smash into the Baltimore Francis Scott Key Bridge. You can see here it says the New York tugboat captain has reported that the container ship lost power while transiting New York Harbor, and says they had 3 escort tugs, but 3 more were needed to bring the ship under control. Right? And says they regained power and they were brought to anchor near the bridge. All right, so you can see there it's parked right outside the bridge. We're extremely lucky that 3 other tugboats, because the 3 escorting them were not enough. Because the problem with the other one is, why weren't there any escorts? There should have been tugboat escorts when it's already inside the harbor moving around the bridge. And this one's wide open. This one looks even further, even wider than the Francis Scott Key Bridge. So if they hit here, it would be one of these things where it's like, what's going on? Something's going on here. This definitely is not a coincidence. And it seems very suspicious that this cargo ship lost power again. Something's going on, and we need answers. We need a full investigation, but the investigation was shut down relatively quick. All right, and we never really got a solid answer. They were saying maybe it was the fuel, maybe something like that, but they never actually told us what happened, and we were just told that it wasn't the T word, right? An attack like that, but they never said it wasn't espionage, all right? Because that is typically what they classify things like cyber attacks as. They are classified under espionage and spying, cyber warfare laws, right? Espionage laws. That's what they are normally prosecuted under. They're not really prosecuted under terror. They're normally prosecuted under espionage, especially if this was a foreign country doing this remotely. That's most likely what it would be, and they would find who's doing it, who's doing the hacking, things like that. They don't charge hackers with that. They charge hackers with espionage most of the time, all right, especially when they're attacking U.S. critical infrastructure. So this is big that this happened again. If this knocked out this bridge in New York, this could have been a major disaster, because then we could have had the New York port shut down potentially and have disruptions as well. Parts of the ports there could be affected. All right, so make sure you are getting prepared. Make sure you're getting ready, stocked up on all your essentials that you need to stay prepped, right, and to be ready for whatever comes your way. And make sure you're staying safe and staying at home for the eclipse. All right, don't go out in the middle of any of these big events, anything like that. Just stay at home, even if you're not in 100%. Just stay at home, enjoy it at your house. Look at it with your family, with your kids, with your dog, with your chickens, whoever. Check it out. It's going to be a cool experience. Whatever happens, right? Whatever, if something happens, there's nothing we can do. If nothing happens, that's fine too. All right, we don't know what's going to happen, and things could happen a year from now. Who knows? We don't know what's going to happen, but stay safe and stay away from these major gatherings for sure. All right, so thank you guys. I hope you have big blessings for your life, your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.